It's not easy. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Ça va? I think your volume is a little bit low.
Low, yeah, it's because my laptop is behind my screen. My screen is too big, so yeah, it's the screen I bought yesterday. So I'm not fully set up.
You bought the screen on Black Friday?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. So as you know, I'm part of this Unity Open project I mentioned before. So I'm kind of learning from this project to figure out how they do the project, what tools they are using, and what's the logic behind those tools. I want to introduce to you the localization system, and then I want to explain a little contribution from me. So I'm going to make a pull request. So I want to explain to you what is this pull request about, and is it good enough to pull in if you are the leader. So what is localization? So like I asked you last week about localization, I'll show you in Unity. Okay, so this is Unity. So they are using the localization package from Unity. Here, I'll show you in Package Manager. Is localization preview version 0.9. So they are using this package. So I will introduce how to use this localization system. So first of all, you need to create a localization setting, which you can create by right-click here. So if you when you create this localization setting, you will have all your locales. So locales means language and regions, right? So you can create locales with this local generator. You can choose your language.
Okay.
And after that, you need to create your table. So here they have all kinds of tables. So basically you have two kinds of tables. One is string table and the other is accent table. So string table is for strings. So accent table is for any kind of access. For example, here there's a flag. So you can choose your flag when the language is under different language. So we have...
You can localize texture as well.
What? Sorry?
So you can localize texture quite easily.
Yeah, actually anything. You can drag anything. It's an object type. So once you drag in one thing, and the other slot will detect what kind of accent type, and you will have to put the same accent type in all slots. Okay, so after this, here we have a test scene called localization test. So I will run it here to see how it works. Come on. Okay, so now it's English. So it's the beach. Yep. And if I change to French, is La Plage. Okay, with the flag change. And if I change it to Chinese, is China, but the character is missing.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the problem I asked you last week. So to fix this problem, we have two solutions, right? So the first solution is your solution, the solution you provided, like set the font far back.
Actually, just showing what you've been talking about. I already know what is your solution and what you should be doing.
That's what the senior should do. Okay.
Yeah.
So the first solution is set the font far back. So you create a tool, set all kinds of different fallback font to different languages, and then set this whole table to TextmeshPro, right? Let me show you the first solution. So the first solution is here. So now we have two fonts, right? I prepared two fonts here. One is English font and the other is Chinese font. So I picked the special one so we can see the difference.
Yep.
So now I prepare a line like this. So this line is a special line because it contains both English and Chinese, right? So John's Chinese name is John. So in Chinese is John's Chinese name is John. So if I copy this line to the text field here, so if I use the English font here, so it would be like this. John's Chinese name is square.
Yep.
And if I use the Chinese font, it would be like this. John's Chinese name is John. So the first solution is set a fallback font to the English font, right? So the English font is Neko. And here we can assign a fallback font. So the solution would be I would assign the Chinese font here. So boom, then we can see the Chinese character, John.
Okay.
But the problem of this solution is, so the English, we always use English font. But if we use the Chinese font, which also provide the English characters, so it will be consistent. Like English and Chinese is consistent font. So fallback font is not the perfect solution for us, kind of. So we need to think about how to settle this. So the second solution is change this, right? Change the font access. The first solution is change the fallback. So this font access will be always the same. So the second solution is we should change this font access, right?
Yep.
So it should be like this. Okay. Second solution is we need to set the font accent of TextmeshPro. So it should be font accent. We should change this directly instead of setting the fallback. So we should write something like this that you sent me last week. So we need to detect what language we are using, and then we change the font by whatever method, resource.low, something like that.
Yes.
Okay, let me show you this. So the first one is fallback. This one is fallback font. It's always fallback. So the second one is font localize. So the font will change. The main font will change based on the language. So let me play this. And let's see the difference. Okay, now it's English. So they are all using the font, this font, Neku. So they are all Neku, right? And if I change it to Chinese, so this Chinese word is also Neku. It's always Neku, but this one is Ziku, so it's the Chinese font, right? So that's what we want to achieve. The expected behavior is this one, so we want this one. Okay. So how can we do this? When we localize a string, we create a test, and then we will go to TextmeshPro. For example, I create a new test here. So this is a new test. I create the new TextmeshPro. So this localization package offers a function that you can easily localize this text by right-click and hit the localize button. So if you hit this button, it will automatically add a component to this game object called localize string event.
Okay.
Right?
Is it part of what you developed, or is it part of the package that comes with the package manager?
It's part of the package.
Okay.
So this is from the package. So you have this, you add the TextmeshPro, and then you right-click here, localize, and it will add this component to this game object. So this component contains two parts. So the first part is string reference. So you choose the string reference from the tables you created, right? And then the second thing is this string update event. So this event updates the TextmeshPro's test field. So it takes the string from the table and then put it into TextmeshPro's test field. This is what the component does. So based on this, what I would like to do is we should create a localized font event, right? We should have a similar component that localize the font. So I should create a font table here. I've already created here. So I will assign different fonts to different languages, and I should create a component to read this table, just like what we did on the string one. Where does it go? Here, right? So I create two scripts. So the first script is the component script. So I need a component like this, but for font. So I already did it, so I add it here. So it's localize font TextmeshPro font event. Okay, so this is the component I created. And let me check the script. It's very simple. I read the document and then I found that they provide a class that you can easily create a component like this. This is the localized TextmeshPro font event, which is this class, okay? So this class inherits from this class, localized access event. It takes in 3 parameters. So the first parameter is the resource that you need to deal with. In this case is TextmeshPro font accept. The second parameter is this part, localized accept reference. So this is the table, right? This part reads the table. So this part we can easily get it from inherit from localized accept. So we put in a TextmeshPro accept. So this class is this one. Put it here. And the last part is the event part, right? So it's a Unity event. So it takes in a TextmeshPro font access. So this class is here, is the third one. So by doing this, we have this component, right? So this is the first script. Okay, so the second step is we want it to be added like automatically, just like the string one. So we should have a button here called localize string and font, right? If you want to localize string and font, you hit this button, right? So I add the editor script to add this button. So the editor script is here. It's not too complicated. It's very short script, but it's like the same thing, because I asked you before how to find this script, but finally I find it somewhere in the package and then I just create my own. So this part is basically creating this component and added it to the game object. Okay. And this part is find the key and assign it to the component automatically. So what I want to do is when I hit this button, it automatically assigns the update asset here. So it should be TextmeshPro here and TextmeshPro font here. So I don't need to do it manually. Also, it should be able to read the font table I created before. Because it's all the same, I don't want to do it every time I create a new text. So the script is like this. This is the string part. So this is the font part. I find a similar key, font. Font is the name of the table. And then I try to assign it to this component. But it doesn't work. This part, it doesn't work. But the Unity event part, it works. So let me show you. So we have a test. So if I hit localize string and font, it adds two components to the game object. The first one is string, it's nothing to say. And the second one is TextmeshPro font. So this part, the event part, is already done. But this one, I have to choose it myself. I have to choose table font.
But anyway, I think it's better if you have to choose it because, for example, if you have a title in a screen that uses a different font from the one that is just a description text, you will need to set it manually.
Sorry? What do you mean?
For example, if you have a title for in your screen right now in Unity, you have a new text. So if, for example, that one is a special font that is just for that title, you will want...
Okay. But I just want to give it a default value. But this part, I can't make it work. And then I tell you what happened. I go to the Unity forum, I post a thread, and I ask the Unity team why this doesn't work. And they did reply me. You see, I post this thread last week.
Nice.
Why this 5 similar key doesn't work on the assets? And I just explained my idea. And this guy from Unity Technology, he says find similar key only works on string. And he said they will create something for the font later. Okay, so it doesn't work anyway.
That's what happens when you work with a package that is in preview and not in release mode.
Yeah. But that's good enough based on you. So you add it here and then you choose it. And that's it. And another thing I want to mention is if you localize a string, because they find similar key. So if you, let me delete it one more time. If you write down the key here, the test key, the key is this key. Let me show you. So for example, dialog table. So you have the key here. This is the key of the test. So this is first line. First line is welcome, bienvenue. And if I write down the key in the test field here, if I write down first line, and then I hit localize, they will find the key and then just assign it to the component. If I hit localize, and you can see here is automatically set up dialog first line. So by doing this, I don't need to config anything on this component, and it's done.
You see, the localization plugin that we're using our side is doing the other way around. It's when you select your localized string, it will automatically fill the TextmeshPro component. So, for example, right now...
Oh, really?
Yeah, because the thing is that it's not very practical if you only see IDs in your screen.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the other way around would be better. Like
that's true.
If you set your ID in the localized string event script, then it should populate the script, the text in the text field of TextmeshPro.
Oh, yeah. But let me try to say the line here. What if I say welcome? To see if it finds the welcome here. If I say welcome here, and then I localize. No, doesn't happen.
Cool.
It's just the key. They just find the key. But do you think if I create my pull request like this, they will pull it in?
It's definitely not bad. As you said, I wouldn't use the ID as you did. Maybe I would just do the other way around, or add some special characters to say, okay, it's an ID, then switch back the text in the text field. Other than that, it's pretty cool, I would say.
Actually, the text field is just a plus. You don't have to use it. You can always choose. But I think in their project they use a what's they call? they use another scriptable object to read the line. So they are not going to assign it manually like what I did just now.
And what does that script do? Can you check the scriptable object just for fun?
So here they read this, and this local location.
Yeah, that's the scriptable object. Can you go in the definition?
This one?
Yeah, just open it for fun.
Just the name of just a localized string.
So it's the ID, right? It contains the ID that you need to set.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So you don't need to choose the ID there. There's another scriptable object doing this job. So this is what they did in the open project. So yeah, okay, I'm finished.
I think it's just a way to centralize their strings, because otherwise it's gonna be a mess if you have to open the scripts the prefabs all the time to find your TextmeshPro object and change the ideas. And
yeah, exactly. Okay, and they use a lot of scriptable object, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, it's the norm now. Everyone does that. They try to be data-driven as much as possible. It's the same for almost all projects I work on as well.
I will create my pull request like this and see what they say. Maybe they will have some idea. Maybe they will have the same idea as you to just combine two components as one.
Yeah, and as I said, you don't want to show IDs in your screen. So if you type the ID and then you add your localized component, it should switch back the ID to the text.
You mean if I choose it here?
Yeah, it
should assign this long sentence here?
Yes, at least to the language of your editor or something like that.
This is a very good idea, but this is
I expect them to do it. They will probably do it in a future update or something like that. I don't know.
Do you think it's easy to do that?
You have to look at the event. It should be feasible, but I'm not sure how the system works. So, like right now, it looks like it's the update.
You see the text is here. You see? So different language is here. So maybe I can get this text and then assign it to the text box, right?
Yeah, that would be the thing to do. And you have to use a default language. Like the tool we are using, there is a default language that you can set.
Oh yeah, here we have default languages here. I think it's something here, I don't know. This one, English?
Specific local selector. I'm not sure what is that. Local selector.
Maybe.
Oh, yes, I think it is. So if you want to test, you just choose your local and it's going to change all the text in your game. Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. So this is the default language.
So what I'm thinking is that when you set the ID on your localized string event, then it should update the TextmeshPro text.
Oh, very inspiring. I'll write it down. Okay, so that's it for today.
Yeah, good job.
Thank you very much. Bonsoir.
Bonsoir.
Bye bye.